Hey everybody, this is Dale with Networking Step by Step, and in today's video cheat sheet we're going to configure a not so stubby area. We're going to do some baseline show commands to see what the area type is like right now. Then we're going to change the area to a not so stubby area, and then we're going to do some verification show commands to see the ramifications of changing an area to a not so stubby area. Let's look at the network topology. We're going to turn area 2 up here between router 1 and router 2 into a not so stubby area. Let's go ahead and get started. Do a show IP OSPF pipe begin area 2 on router 2, and it's a normal area. There's nothing special here in between the number of interfaces, and the area has no authentication. If you followed along with the Stub and Totally Stub video cheat sheets, you know that that's where the output is going to be between those two lines. If this is the first time you're hearing this, well then that's where we're looking for, right there between those two lines. Now, what a not so stubby area does that's different than a stub area is basically two things. A stub area will block LSA types 3, 4s, and 5s, where a not so stubby area will block LSA type 5s, and then also at the ABR does some 5 to 7 translations. But really, to me, the main thing is if you have an area that you want to filter out how many routes actually get into the area, like a stub area, but then you also need to redistribute routes into that same area. In other words, if we're going to turn this into a not so stubby area and you want to filter how many routes get in, but you still need to redistribute routes on R1 in and then advertise them through, then a not so stubby area is for you. Down here we created a stub area and a totally stub area, and if you try to redistribute any prefixes into OSPF down here, it would give you an error and would not let you do that. So that's kind of the functionality that a not so stubby area gives you. So let's configure a not so stubby area here on router 2. And once again, just like in the stub area, we see the adjacency go down because all the routers in the area need to agree on what type of area they're going to be. And this type of area now on router 2 is a not so stubby area. And this is where I was talking about perform the 7 to 5 LSA translations. So let's go over and look at router 1. Router 1 is a normal area because there's nothing here in between the number of interfaces and the area authentication output. So it's just a normal OSPF type area, and of course we don't have any output from the show IP route except for all the connected routes because our adjacency went down, and we see that right up here. The neighbor went down between router 1 and router 2 here. So let's turn router 1 into a not so stubby area. We should see the adjacency come back up, and we have, once again, here's the process 1 for router 1 and our neighbor 2, and we are now full. So now let's execute our two commands that we did before we made router 1 into a not so stubby area and see how things have changed. For the show IP OSPF pipe begin area 2 command, it is now a not so stubby area. And for the show IP route, we now have all of our prefixes back, and we're not doing any filtering yet. We'll cover that in a totally not so stubby area, which is the next video cheat sheet. But this is basically how you configure a not so stubby area. Once again, it gives you the functionality of filtering, which we haven't done yet, but filtering what type of routes get into your area, but also gives you the functionality to be able to redistribute routes into your area. Hope this helps, and maybe you can deploy it on your network sometime.